Hi guys, welcome to the Reach tutorial. Today we're really just going to give you a quick overview of the Scheduled tab. Now really there's two ways you guys can display your information. One would be using our system to basically manually enter it in. The second way would be through an integration. So some things like Google Calendar, Outlook, EMS, 25 Live, those are just some of the integrations that we could do. And the way our system works is once that integration is done, really there's nothing you need to do in here. Our integration as a default is designed to pull new information every hour. Now we can speed that up to a max of 15 minutes, but again, as a default, it's set for an hour. So if you are going to manually enter your information in, you're basically going to kind of get to this platform. So we'll kind of just walk through some of the tabs, kind of explain what each things do. So you can see right here we have this table header. Now depending on how you want to display your information, you might want to break it up into sections. And what I mean by that is that you're breaking up your content, meaning like if you had staff information, that would be a header, or this week would be a header. Upcoming this month would be a header. You'd basically create these headers, and then within there you would add, the content within them. So we'll kind of go over that in a different kind of tutorial, but that's kind of the idea of what this header in the screens is. Now in the middle part here you can see it says type and it says upcoming events, but however when I select on it I've got kind of a good list. So to go over this, if you click on rank, really what that means is that you're going to have obviously the name, you're going to have the locker room, and then the time. It's really only designed for basically ice arenas. Now time event info, time event, and then time event court. They're really all kind of the same thing, but the biggest thing is that this information, whatever you put in, it's going to drop by the end time. So if you have an event going till 2 p.m., at 2:01, that will be off your schedule. Upcoming events is really just kind of a free box. You can put as much text as you want in this box. You can kind of format it kind of how you want it, as far as like if you want like time first, event, info, or however you want to kind of rearrange that. But upcoming events, the way that works is that it drops by the end date. So again, kind of going back into that scenario is that let's just say you had an event and it ended at 8 a.m. Well, if you have upcoming events as a type, it's actually going to show all day because that particular template only drops by the end date, not the end time. So again, depending on how you're displaying your information or what you're looking to display, kind of varies on this type. And then the last part, this time event multi-day, the way that kind of works is that that's going to end by an end date, but then also the end time. So for instance, maybe you have an event that's 2 days long. Well, you'd put the end date and then you'd put the end time. So then it would display within those 2 days. All right, then we have this delete on import. That's really for the integration part. So you can kind of skip that. If you do have an integration, you see it checked, you can just ignore that. I wouldn't unclick it or anything like that, but that just means to basically delete anything that's duplicate. Then of course you could delete it, which that would delete your whole schedule, so we'll ignore that. And then we have this number of screens, which we'll kind of just slowly walk through. But basically what this is saying is that, if I create multiple headers and I assign them to a screen, it's just asking me really, how much information do I want to show? So if I have 30 events in one day, do I want to show all 30 or do I only want to show the 10 recent or the 20 recent? As a default, it's always going to set for 10. And then this part, hide if no events. If I select that, that just means that if there's no events for that day, don't show anything. So by clicking that, that's kind of what that means. And then we have the show locker, and of course that's going to tie in with the rank template. So to enter information in, you would then go to daily schedule. This is where you would enter all your information in. Actually, this is an example of the upcoming events. So you can see I can kind of change however I want with that format. I can have a start date, so I could schedule anything out, a week or 2 weeks or a month ahead, and then I could have my end dates here. Now the preview tab, this just allows you to kind of preview what is going to be running on that screen. Then we have an upload file. which means that you guys can upload Excel files. They do need to kind of be in a particular format, but we'll go over that in a different tutorial. And then of course, if you make any changes, just to save your work. So that's really kind of a quick overview of the schedule tab itself. If you guys have any, questions, feel free to call or email us. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.